live? We're live. Great. Okay. It wasn't doing it a second ago. Let me just take a drink real quick. So I didn't really have faith it was going to do it. So you guys have probably all heard by now. I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. It doesn't come as a shock to me at all that Kylie just simply drowned accidentally, right? What I am really glad about is that I put that affidavit out again today. And, you know, every time you do something, even when you're repeating it, you learn, right? So what I learned today, the word that I was stumbling over, mandamus, the writ of the mandamus is a government mandate that a lower governing body do their job and uphold the law. So one of the sad things to me is that this word even has to exist, right? Oh my God, laugh or cry. So, you know, I just had this weird hunch today that we were going to get a presser. And I think that I was feeling that way because of the silence, sort of the calm before the storm, and because of MEGHAN coming out, what was that, a week or so ago? And then the video coming out. And like I've said from the outset with the video, I don't really care if it's whatever it is. It doesn't do anything for me. We know what we know. And we know that the sheriff that had this case for the first 2 weeks has no business being in law enforcement at all, let alone a position of authority and leadership. So I don't think law enforcement nationwide is going to be happy with the look of that car was in that water for an entire 2 weeks, that 60 professionals, as they want to be called, were out there draining the taxpayer dollars for 20,000, nearly 20,000 billable hours in 18 entities, whether they were California Fire or, you know, California Highway Patrol, FBI, all these folks. It's just really sad. It's a really sad day to me. It's a really sad day for law enforcement. Like, you just want to spit on these people, right? It's also a really sad day for Kylie. And, you know, I've mentioned the thing about the license plate being 8 your 127, which I didn't finish that whole thought. That's 8 your soul, perhaps. And then earlier today on one of my tapes, I was talking about how November 1st is the day after Halloween, which is a big deal for people that are in these communities. And not only Halloween, but the day after. And now here we are, October 13th. Coincidence? I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to hop on here real quick and give you guys a short live. I'm sure you're catching the news all over the place. And, you know, it's going to be really interesting to see what sort of things get posted, not so much by the YouTube community, but I'm thinking by some other people whose names we won't mention right now. I just wanted to say that they might have won the battle, but they certainly haven't won the war. So it's not a surprise. We all knew this was coming. It's just a surprise that they beat their deadline by 2 or 3 weeks. So thank you, Johnny Stark. I'm so upset with the autopsy report. To me, it's a cover-up. I hate this. Absolutely. It's absolutely a cover-up, and it couldn't be more obvious. So this case could be pivotal and precedent-setting for eradicating scumbags out of law enforcement. I mean, there's unfortunately a lot of scumbags in law enforcement, and I say that with all the respect and admiration for all of the thousands upon thousands upon thousands of good people that work in law enforcement. It's very disturbing. And, you know, it's the Truckee way. So, you know, I'm very happy that I got that affidavit reread because my goodness, people, I think about 4,000 people have viewed that affidavit tape this afternoon. And the affidavit reading that I did when I first started my channel maybe has 600 views right now. So I've even heard somebody tonight talk about the affidavit that I read earlier today. So I'm thrilled that that information is getting out there because it really lays the groundwork and the backdrop of what was bound to happen. I mean, we've got that predator not only with a badge and a gun and a license to kill, but he's the boss, applesauce. He's the coroner, he's the administrator, and he's the sheriff. And even though the case went to Nevada County, these people all work together. They have to, like, you know, keep things cool between them so that they can do each other's favors and they don't air out each other's dirty laundry. I mean, it's a really sick system. You know, the blue always backs the blue. And in theory, that's fantastic. But when you've got scumbags doing illegal things and hurting people and breaking the law and committing murders and cover-ups and sexual assaults, I'm going to read a couple of other. Nip says, it's time for us to come together as a community and fight for justice. I personally appreciate you for who you are, but also all you do. Please don't give up. Don't worry, I'm not. I fully expected this. I just expected it like on the 1st of November or a year from now. I didn't think they'd try to package it up so nicely, but of course they are, because they got, you know, the thing that they set up with MEGHAN and the video that they locked down. You know, I don't care what anybody says about the video. To me, it says absolutely nothing. So that's no disrespect to anybody who has any strong opinion about it one way or the other. Teresa Baldwin says this is not cool at all. And they wonder why the people have no respect for our law systems. You know, it hadn't occurred to me until today that when Kylie went missing and Lindsay did not call law enforcement until 5 o'clock on Saturday evening, maybe she was scared to call the Placer County Sheriff because she knows who the Placer County Sheriff is. And maybe she had good reason to hesitate and not call them sooner. Really, it had not hit me until just at some point today. I thought, wow, mind-blowing, isn't it? But there could be a very good reason why she didn't want to get them involved. So Teresa, so why were people ruled out if they knew it would be an accident? I wonder. Exactly. And, you know, what are we going to hear from Adventures with Purpose? Are they just going to, like, put their tail between their legs and go away? I sure hope not. I sure hope they come out with a punch, because this is insulting to first responders everywhere. And I know that Adventures with Purpose has a great deal of respect for first responders everywhere. It's like the very essence of our country. First responders. You don't have 911 in most countries. You just don't. I mean, we're so lucky. So Nip says, oh, wow, I hadn't even considered that. What a great point. Oh, about Lindsay. I know. I can't believe it didn't cross my mind until today, if that's what you're talking about, that Lindsay might have been like, man, how can I deal with this situation without getting that flippin', disgusting sheriff involved? She very well might have had a damn good reason to hesitate and hope that things were going to wrap up without having to make that call. Teresa Baldwin says, I've been looking forward to AWP. Jared and Doug both said there's more told, depending on LE. I know. And I just hope that they haven't been threatened I'm just going to put this out there. My opinion is that some of these people have been threatened and paid off. Maybe I'm a conspiracy theorist, but I don't think so. Ryan, we need Ryan Upchurch. We know that Mountain Girl 212, I misspoke earlier and said Squirrel Girl. No, Squirrel Girl's still out doing her thing. Go Squirrel Girl. But Mountain Girl 212 had somebody threaten her and her family's safety. And she still has her video up from about 2 weeks ago where she's just making this long, sad goodbye and kind of explaining without explaining. It's really concerning. And Juanita says, no accident, disgusting. Yeah, I mean, they can't explain away all this stuff. And of course they want to protect their kids, but you know what? Sometimes you just got to bite the bullet and do the right thing, right? And people that do horrible things need to pay for their crimes. They need to suffer the consequences. Unmasked truth. I agree. The level of hacking, etc., is high. AWP would put their families in danger to accuse the FBI of foul play. Right. And yeah, I mean, if they hacked that system or whatever, nobody wants to put themselves in danger, but living in fear is not living in a free country. And we do live in a free country, and it's very important to not live in a fascist regime, which is essentially what that is. Teresa Baldwin, yes, I agree. And Johnny Stark says, I live in this area and am beyond ashamed of this BS. I will say that drowning could be still from Sam putting her in the lake, not realizing she was still alive after fighting with her or overdose. I agree, Johnny, and I'm really sorry that that this is your home area, because it is such a beautiful area, but what a bullshit crap to live with. Teresa Baldwin, doesn't matter who it is right and wrong is wrong. And another human's life, especially a child's, it's just unethical and immoral. It is. And I'm really happy to see you guys on here and to see your comments. I guarantee you I ain't going to give up. I ain't going anywhere. I'll be out on my YouTube first thing in the morning like I have been. And Teresa Baldwin corrects herself and says, I meant taking life. Yeah. LOL. So, you know, justice is never easy. Fighting against somebody in a position of power like that is not easy. People abuse their power, and it's disgusting, and they can get away with murder. It's not the first time it's happened. It's just that I think now with technology and with YouTube and all this, that we're able to see it more. Like I brought up George Floyd earlier, and, you know, I don't want to go off in that whole direction, but George Floyd was murdered at the hands of a police officer with a couple other police officers kind of assisting or, you know, refereeing, making sure that he was able to commit this murder. And without the videotape, he would have gotten away with it. And even with the videotape, he still could have gotten away with it. You know, things are slowly changing. That whole George Floyd case kind of opened up the floodgates of justice seeking and people in communities across the country getting more involved. And so that's a good thing. And hopefully Kylie's case, like Gabby Petito's, will help further some justice for women, women who are victimized. You know, Gabby Petito, I think, helped domestic violence issues, like helped reduce the stigma somewhat. Bo Peep, we will still be able to obtain the FOIA now. Yeah. But I'm glad you brought that up. Zav has the report. I just watched it. Yeah. Please explain to me how someone who has no medical training can be a coroner. Well, the medical examiner does the medical stuff. So that person has the medical training. The coroner just signs off, I guess. I know it's stupid. But the making a public records request, be warned that when you make a public records request, you kind of have to be careful because you're basically putting a target on your back. You're giving these people an indication of what you're looking for by asking for it. So you have to kind of carefully phrase it. You can't ask for like a whole general thing. You have to ask for specific things. You can ask for the whole file of the Kylie Rodney case. But then they know that you want the file of the Kylie Rodney case, which I'm sure is going to get, inundations. I believe that already they have something set up where you have to go in person to request it in person and to pick it up in person. And maybe Johnny Stark can speak to that. But I don't know if they had it set up like that before or if they just set it up like that because they were getting a flood of public records requests. I just think like this only God can actually truly judge, but this Truckee place has something waiting for them come their judgment day. God is good. That's true. The coroner and or medic examination, none could see the tattoo on Kylie's body. Oh, I don't know. Did they leave that out of the report that Zav shared? I kind of felt like I had the wind knocked out of me when I learned of this an hour ago. And at the same time, I kind of felt it coming today. I was looking all day. I kept Googling for press releases because I just had this weird feeling that it was coming because we've gotten nothing. And we just had all that crap with the MEGHAN and the videotape. So let me just say about that videotape, and I've said it from the beginning, it doesn't do anything for me. I don't care if it's videotape from that day. It still does nothing for me. You can't tell whose car is what. You can't tell anything. And even if Kylie did drown, that still doesn't mean there's no foul play. And why in the hell would they rule Jagger out and say that he's been cleared when there was nothing to be cleared from, right? Like these people are fools and they've given themselves away so many times. And we just have to stick together, do what we know is right, hope that Adventures with Purpose is feeling safe to do the right thing and see how things roll out. I think it's going to be interesting and, they think they can get away with it. And honestly, I don't think they can. I don't think that the profession of law enforcement nationwide is going to allow the catastrophe, absolute catastrophe. These people are trying to say, we can't find our butts with both hands. We couldn't find the car right there under our feet for 2 weeks because we are so stupid. And, they got their little helicopter flight patterns going right over it in circles and just the Zanime, the Ronnie, the Check It, the SF Investigates. I mean, anyway, thank you for listening. I'm going to turn everything off. I'm going to sleep on it and it'll be a brand new day tomorrow. I'm just really glad I got that affidavit out because I feel like if I redid the affidavit tomorrow, it would kind of be like sour grapes as a knee-jerk reaction to this. It hadn't dawned on me until just the last couple of days that I should just redo it because when I did it first, I didn't have very many subs. And even when I've told people to try to go back and look at it, it might be impossible to find it. I don't know. I mean, I know things can be hard to dig for and you get distracted. You're digging for one thing and then you see something else and you forget what you were looking at or for. I'm just going to read the rest of these. Let's see. Johnny Stark says, Teresa. Maria Morris says, it's there. Maria Morris says, I feel sick about this. Maria Morris says, exactly. Blockella says, we have to seriously research our options. Right. Absolutely. Bo Peep says, how about internal affairs? Right. So let's keep looking at that affidavit and, can the people petition to get a higher government authority to do one of those writ of, am I going to say it right? Writ of memandum. Somebody out there knows. Can that still happen? I think it can. I think anything's possible. I think that the way our law works is that one case can set a new precedence. And, you know, technology is changing everything, and laws are not knowing how to keep up with social media and all that. So Teresa Baldwin, they all lie, man. I can't believe the outcome of this. Doesn't them people have any emotions or heart? Like, I couldn't live with myself if they all thought I'd be like them. I know I couldn't live with any part of that. Nothing like it. I mean, I would just vomit. That's usually my stress response when something is just wrong and vile. I literally throw up. Maria Morris says, thank you. The timing of that was perfect. Oh, the affidavit. Well, thank you. I am so excited that thousands of people have seen it this afternoon. I'm just thrilled because people need to see that that's who was elected by the community into that position. That's an elected position. So people knew him. And, you know, I mean, granted that a lot of this was kept under wraps, but thank goodness that district attorney that wrote that letter, thank goodness he's so smart and sharp and knows what he's doing and is going to do the right thing. Let's see. Bo Peep says U.S. Marshal. Yes, that's what I'm thinking. I like, Tommy Lee Jones from The Fugitive. We need him to get this, right? And then he had a movie right after The Fugitive called U.S. Marshal that wasn't as good. Fugitive was just like a work of art. Johnny Stark says, oops, meant Teresa, we are overdue for a big fire in a major winter season. LOL, it's coming. You know, boycott Truckee. I hate to think of hurting the good people of Truckee financially with that type of thing, but money talks. Like, you have to hit people in the pocketbook to make them feel it. I mean, who knows? These people are so freaking wealthy, the ones in power. They're robbing and cheating and stealing constantly. So they're getting way more than their 6-figure salaries or their 7-figure salaries, depending who they are. We need to stay positive, creepy and corrupt, right? I'm freaked out about it. Bo Peep, who is the DA that you're referring to? I'm referring to the guy, I don't have it in front of me right now, the affidavit that I read this afternoon at about 3 o'clock. So this is my 4th video today. That's a record for me. I did one this morning, one at about 12 noon, and one at about 2:30. The one at 2:30 is just me reading a 5-page affidavit. And I had done that before. It was my 4th video ever. But that was like 5 weeks ago. And I checked, and that video still has roughly 600 views. But the one that I just put out today is getting close to 4,000 already. So I think that was his job, a district attorney that wrote this letter after he retired, about that he needed to let a defense attorney know about Wayne Woo's corruption, because Wayne Woo had been a witness in this criminal's trial, and this criminal got life in prison for attempted murder of 6 law enforcement officials, and Wayne Woo was one of the key witnesses. So it gets kind of complicated, but what the affidavit states is this whole gross sexual imposition that Wayne Woo did with a teenage girl while he was working as a deputy sheriff and while she was on a ride along. And he admitted that he had sex with her and yet tried to get the whole thing thrown out, saying it wasn't true. Like, talk about stupid and crazy. Like, if you're gonna deny it, then deny it. If you're gonna admit it, you can't still say, yeah, I did it and it didn't happen. I did it and it's not true. These people are out of their freaking minds. Okay. I just got to keep thinking that all them bad people will be down with the underneathers in the end and get what they need and deserve. Oh my God, Bo Peep says, yeah, check out that affidavit. It's bad. And I've read it a few times. And when I read it today, it was like even worse than it's ever been. I mean, laugh or cry, right? This is why I like some of these creators like Living Lake Time. He's been producing a lot of videos lately, and they're very tongue-in-cheek, and they're very silly, and they do make you laugh, and they're absolutely tragic. He's hitting things right on the head. So there's a few people that are, and I don't think any of these people are going to give up. I think there's a lot of good creators and a lot of good content consumers, and all of us can crowdsource, and we can all keep it positive. And it is an uphill battle. Like I said yesterday in one of my videos, I've been fighting for justice for years. It is an endurance thing, and it's a roller coaster ride. You know, you might one day have something really great happen and then immediately something really bad happen, or vice versa. So yeah, this is a blow, and I think we all probably feel like the wind is knocked out of us, but something will come good right away. I guarantee it. I really do. I mean, that's just the way life works, right? And we've all got each other, and we've got a lot of positive, smart people. Did you see the Billionaires Boys Club movie? I have not seen that, Bo Peep. Maria Morris says he's great, and I'm not sure who she is referring to. Oh, the DA that wrote that letter. Yeah, it's a wonderful letter. It's so well, clearly stated and thought out, and the man has integrity, and it is a beautiful piece of artwork, shall we say. Did you see? Okay, no, I haven't seen that movie. Thank you for doing your lives, lady. You're great. Oh, you're so nice. Casey is very clever. Jen Herbeck says, yeah, Casey is the Living Lake Time. He really makes you think too. Yeah, there's a few of them like him. It is such a sad outcome. And what is really sad to me is how divided the community of true crime has gotten over that stupid tape. I mean, and people have been so rude and mean and insulting. And, you know, I guess your true colors come out when you're under stress, and it was stressing people out. It is a sad outcome. I am going to hop off of here. It's getting close to a half an hour again. It always does, doesn't it? I think we can make a change if we all work together and don't give up on this Kylie case. I'm not giving up on this Kylie case. I am not giving up on this Kylie case. So mark my words, I'm not going anywhere. And I don't care if people want to, you know, say what they want to say about it. If it's negative, I just don't care. You know, I'm going to do what I feel is important to do. I really hope Kylie get her justice. Don't believe in it's an accident. Yes. Thank you for being a voice for Kylie. Thank you guys. You guys are seriously just as much of a voice for Kylie as I am. You know, just because I finally got my little laptop together doesn't make me any more special than any of you. We're all in this together. We got this. So I'll see you guys in the morning. I hope that everyone gets good rest, and, you know, pray for Kylie. She can't rest in peace until she gets truth and justice. So thanks again. See you tomorrow. Take care. Have a great night. And peace out, peeps.